to another episode of the Bruise News. Today we're doing another live stream with the predictions for UFC 261. I'm pretty amped. I'm kind of excited about other things right now. I just finished my last thing with college up. We're going into term 2 soon. So that's look at my bald ass head there. Look at my baldy. He's all bald and stiff. Anyways, we got the 261 predictions. Um, this is a nuts card. This card is absolutely nuts. There's not a fight on here that doesn't really interest me. It's got big names from top to bottom. I'm super interested about the main event. Every fight, every fight, is just super interesting for the divisions. Everything. It's amazing. It's a Ford fucking Ranger. So we'll start at the bottom, moving up at the top, just with the main card. We're not going to do the prelims at all. And then afterwards, I'll have a couple fights so you guys can see what's going on with that. I haven't been doing so hot lately, but I haven't been gaming as much. Sorry I didn't do a prediction video for the Gastelum fight. That whole weekend was weird with the Askren fight and what was going on with that, and so it's pretty wild. I'm going to try. I notice when I do predictions that sometimes I kind of put my feelings. I know, and nobody cares about my feelings. I'm just joking, kind of. I sometimes apply my feelings and not so much logic to my predictions because I'm like, you know, they should win. But I mean, logically speaking, I try to stay away from that, but it happens. So I'm going to really stick to the math, I guess, for this one. And unfortunately, the math doesn't look so great for some of my favorite fighters. But we'll go ahead and get on to that. So first, we'll start with the first fight of the main card. It's Anthony Smith Lionheart versus Jimmy Crute. Crute is amazing prospect. I don't think that Smith it was as good as people had anticipated. We sort of see this in the divisions a little bit, where when they start to kind of dial back and you see people moving around, you'll see the weight divisions kind of have this effect where the fighters that maybe are considered mid-tier able to move up into top tier for a short time until the division kind of evens itself out, and that's what you're seeing with Smith. Smith has lost his last 2 fights. That last fight he should have got TKO'd, but the ref didn't stop it. He had a broken jaw and like 3 broken teeth. His corner did nothing, but you sort of understand it with a fighter because they want to be able to battle through it. That's the whole point of them being where they are. Like they want to win. And certain guys, like the guy's nickname is Lionheart, so I don't think he's going to be like, yeah, give up. It's just not in the cards for a guy like that. It's not that he's a bad fighter. It's just that I believe that he's a mid-tier fighter that had good success against veterans, and a lot of those veterans were on their way out. Like he beat Rashad Evans, he beat Shogun in a close match though. Shogun is weird like that. But anyways, Crute is very, very good. Very good knockout power. He's got a good wrestling base. He's probably going to win this fight. I believe Crute is going to win this fight early on, and Crute will shoot up into contender status. And by contender status, I mean you'll be looking at him in a main event spot very soon. With Glover versus Jan just getting announced, Crute's in a good spot right now to get the next title shot if he wins this fight, as Anthony Smith is a previous title contender. But there's a lot of talks that, with John Jones and, so who knows? I would say that if Crute wins this fight, which I do believe he will by TKO in the first or early on in the second, he will definitely be on, the spectrum for a title shot. Moving on to the second fight of the card, it's Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman. Uriah Hall is another interesting guy. Super exciting to watch. He just beat Anderson Silva in his retirement fight before he moved over to Bellator, allegedly. And then you have Chris Weidman, who, um, you know, a bit of fall from grace. Chris Weidman was the guy that beat Anderson Silva. I still think it was a little bit fishy. But Weidman is a game opponent. He's really good in all areas. And he's got really good jiu-jitsu and really good ground game. Like, his wrestling is really good. He trains with Matt Serra, so he's a great Boston guy. And I do believe that Weidman will win this fight by unanimous decision. I don't think that he's going to be knocking out Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall's had sort of trouble with wrestlers in the grappling department before. So I do think that's going to happen. But don't be surprised if Uriah Hall scores a late knockout against Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman tends to get knocked out in the last round in a fight. It happened against Romero. It happened against Gastelum. Wait, no, he beat Gastelum, I think. I can't quite remember at the moment. But Weidman does have a tendency, I'm not going to look it up immediately, but he does have a tendency to get knocked out in the final rounds of fights where he's actually winning. The Yoel Romero fight is a good example of that because Weidman was beating Yoel the entire fight, and then in the last round, Romero landed that crazy knee and knocked him out. So I do believe, logically speaking, that Weidman will grapple his way to a victory here. It'll be a good fight nonetheless, but don't be surprised if Uriah Hall lands a knockout. He's been looking good, but I don't believe it's enough to warrant me saying that he's guaranteed to win at the moment. Uriah Hall's also kind of getting up there in age. I think he's like 36 or 37. So he doesn't have too many good years left, but he's still good. The next is the first title fight of the card. There's 3 title fights on this fucking pay-per-view. It's crazy. And they're all amazing. Like, sometimes you get a little bit worried about this stuff. No, these fights are going to be amazing. Shevchenko versus Andraj. Both girls absolute beasts, but Shevchenko, I believe personally, is the best female fighter in the UFC right now. I don't think it's Amanda Nunes. I think that Amanda Nunes is fighting in the 2 weight divisions that have the weakest talent pool, and I don't believe that Nunes is as good as she's played out to be. I do believe that Shevchenko is the better one, and if we all remember, Amanda Nunes actually beat Shevchenko by decision, but it was a really bad decision. I feel like not a lot of people agreed with the way that the decision went. Amanda Nunes primarily only landed leg kicks, and Shevchenko was blasting her with everything. I believe that Andraj has a hard time in the first round, and Shevchenko is really fast, and she can start fast, and her striking is top notch and super technical. I believe that she gets the knockout in the first round, probably without any issues, but that's not to say that Andraj is completely out of this fight. Andraj is definitely able to win this fight. If it goes to grappling, Andraj has slammed every girl that she's been in a fight with. She's super strong, and she has knocked people out. She knocked out Kovalkiewicz, and it was pretty brutal because Kovalkiewicz does not look like a fighter. She looks like this like pretty little schoolgirl, that you would be like, oh, she seems so sweet, but she's a fighter, and yeah, it wasn't a good look. Like, you felt bad for her. Anyways, I have Shevchenko probably winning in the first round by TKO. Going to the second title fight, and this is a tough one for me because I do like both fighters, but Rose Namajunas is my favorite female fighter, and she's fighting Weili Zhang for the title. Now, it's interesting, this fight, in a lot of different ways, because Zhang went toe-to-toe, had a 5-round fight of the year match with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Okay? And that fight was really close. It could have went either way. But it didn't. And it was really awesome. And it was a great fight. And Weili's crazy. She's crazy good. She's crazy strong. She's got crazy legs. She's super strong. and she knocked out Andraj. Andraj beat Namajunas. Now, I don't like to use MMA math for logic here, but there is a few things at play here. So Zhang beat Andraj. Andraj beat Rose. Rose then beat Andraj afterwards. But I mean, it was a close fight. And Namajunas handedly beat Uriah on 2 different occasions, knocking her out once. So this is a weird sort of circle that's going on here about how these fights could go. The factor to me that gives Zhang a bit of advantage is that she's a power striker. And Rose is a girl that needs to kind of, she needs the space. And Zhang moves in and out really fast, and she cuts angles really well, and she's big and powerful. And Rose had that trouble in the later rounds against Andraj, and when she was fighting Andraj in the first round, she was super successful. She was absolutely dominating her until it got into grappling exchanges, and she got slammed and knocked out. So she definitely has trouble with girls that are going to be way stronger than her, and Zhang can knock you out. So it's going to be interesting. My heart says that Rose will win. My head says that Zhang will win. And that's tough for me because I really want Rose to win really badly. Like I said, she's my favorite female fighter, but I have to kind of go with Weili here just based on how she's presented as a fighter and the trouble that Rose has had with that archetype for a fighter before. So, yes. But that doesn't mean that Rose can't win this fight. She can absolutely go out there and dominate. She has one of the best turnover rates in the UFC, and she also is constantly looking like one of the most improved fighters. The difference between her fight, the Karate Hottie fight and the Ujacek fight was astronomical, and the fact that she was able to grow that much, and then went through all that stuff with the Conor McGregor bus incident, and getting knocked out like that, she was dealing with a lot of mental issues, and it's pretty crazy. So my prediction for the fight is that Zhang will win this fight by decision. No, no. If Zhang wins, it'll be by a knockout in the second round. Second round TKO. And if Rose wins, it'll be a later knockout or it will be a decision. But I do believe if I was betting, I would bet on Zhang for this fight. Zhang. Zhang. So, on to the main event, which is definitely the most interesting of all the fights on the card. I fucking hate Usman. I fucking hate Kamaru Usman. He's talking like he's better than GSP, and he's really just the best of a bad situation. I've been saying this before. I believe that he looks better than he does because the welterweight division kind of collapsed on itself, and a lot of their competition has gone down. But Usman is a big boy, and he can wrestle, and he's strong. I don't know. I don't want to make any comments on if he's on gear or not, but it's kind of just, it's weird with his frame. Like, he has such a massive frame. He's like 6'1" or 6'2", and he's massive. He's maybe the biggest guy in the division in terms of like bulk. And the fact that he's that tall, he's the tallest guy in the division, I believe, also, just behind Neil Magny. I think Neil Magny is 6'2" or 6'3", and Usman is like right there. So I don't know. That's a weird thing. In their first fight, Usman, there's a lot at play here. So in the first fight, Usman beat Masvidal pretty handedly. It was pretty easy. He didn't seem to have any trouble. He did have trouble with the stand-up game, but where there's defining factors, as Usman talked about, and a lot of people say this, that Masvidal stands absolutely no chance. He got dominated in the first fight. He was taken down too much. He was controlled too much. Well, Usman went 3 for 15 on takedowns. That's not good. All he did was push Masvidal against the cage and stomp his foot and go for short hooks, and he even missed that. His striking percentage was lower than 45%, and most of those were cage strikes. Now, Masvidal wasn't that impressive, but nearly every single striking exchange, Masvidal won. We're also talking about a Masvidal that took this fight on 6 days' notice. He had to travel 18 hours on a flight. He had to cut 26 pounds, and he had no training camp. He was on the beach partying. They signed the contract on a napkin. So this fight isn't going to be the same. The gas tank of Masvidal is not going to be the same. And if Usman wasn't able to score those takedowns, if he wasn't able to control, or if he wasn't able to score those takedowns on a depleted Masvidal, if all he could do was stomp his feet, I don't know how different this fight could be. This fight could be extremely different, or it could be exactly the same. Usman is very good, and it's tough to bet against him because of how consistent that he's been in his fights. Especially with Masvidal, you look at him historically speaking, and he's really only been good for this past 4 fights. Now, when I say he's only been good, I mean top tier. Top tier against guys like Stephen Thompson, against Nate Diaz, who's not really a welterweight, but he's competing there. It's kind of crazy, actually. Against Usman, against Ben Askren, against Darren Till, who Darren Till is successful at middleweight. So I don't think that Masvidal is completely out of this fight, and I want Masvidal to win the title so bad. Not because he's my favorite fighter, but because I fucking hate Usman. I think the guy is such a goon. He's such a liar. He talks so much shit, and he comes back on his word. Like, the dude is faker than fake. Like, it's crazy how fake the dude is. But logically speaking, Usman will probably win this fight, and it will probably be by decision, and it won't be anything flashy. I believe the circumstances will be the same. I believe that Usman will try to stand with Masvidal in the first 5 seconds. He'll get hit by Masvidal one time, and then he'll be like, no, 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 and he'll take him down. That's exactly what happened in the first fight. He talked all that shit, said he'd knock him out. He literally took one combo exchange and was like, no, we're taking this to the ground. And that was the way that it was. But Usman got clipped in the Gilbert Burns fight, and he almost got knocked out. And if Masvidal clips Usman, Usman is going to go to sleep 100%. Masvidal has a way higher finishing rate when he rocks opponents than nearly everybody else in the welterweight division. So, logically speaking, Usman will win this fight by unanimous decision. My heart says that Masvidal wins by TKO. Take that as you will. If you're a betting man and you want to make money, I bet you the Masvidal payout is very high. You could parlay pretty well going with Crute. Crute's probably a guaranteed winner. I wouldn't take the Weidman Uriah Hall fight because that's weird. Shevchenko is probably guaranteed to win. I wouldn't maybe touch the Namajunas fight because that fight could go either way, and then take Masvidal. But if you're gonna parlay, switch those around, and you can probably make some good money if you're looking at those that way. It's a crazy card. It's a crazy card. It's gonna be such a good pay-per-view, and I'm super excited about it. Saturday could not come fast enough. Plug my headset. So we'll do, I accidentally unplugged my headset. I don't know if I just said that. We'll do, one fight here. Should we go with Andre Bishop from Fight Night Champion? Who's he picking? He's going Gustafsson. Yeah, pick somebody. Oh, you're going, let's see who you pick. Come on, Derek Lewis? Oh, Lesnar. Okay, just pick somebody, dude. Okay. We'll go Andre Bishop. He's super small. Look at this. In the game, he was a middleweight. He went to prison. He came back as a heavyweight. Come on. Let's go, bitch. Man, I'm so excited for these fights coming up. The Hero W? I don't know what that means. But number 1. So good. So good. Try to knock him out. So good. So hard. Want to do the thing. Oh, we got a little bit of lag going on here. Okay. Oh shit. Oh shit. What? How did I miss that? There's a little bit of lag going on here. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. What is happening? Oh, you're gonna get knocked out by a little man. Oh, oh, oh. Oh! Dude, you just got knocked the fuck out! I talked like I was way more amped up than I actually was. I wasn't that amped up. I shouldn't have done that. I feel faker than fake. Boom! Oh man, you see his lips wiggle there? What's a... Whoa! Whoa! He's trying to blow bubbles in his chocolate milk on the way down there. He's motorboating Jesus now. That's the way she goes sometimes, though. Okay, we'll go one more fight, and then I'll turn this off, because I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk anymore. I know I can be funny sometimes, but there's nothing to play off, and I can't, you know, make myself look funny. Look funny. Yeah, I look funny already. There's nothing. There's nothing. I got nothing. So hot. Want to touch the hiney. It's got a fucking Tootsie Roll as an icon there. Okay, who you picking? I thought they made Nagano 5-star. That's weird. I could have swore they made him 5-star. Huh. Can I pick like Dana White? Is Dana White in this? Oh, Kimbo. Got some Kimbo Slicersons? Oh, Dana is here. This actually doesn't do Dana justice. If you look at pictures of Dana White, he's actually jacked. Oh, he went with Cormier. Holy shit. This dude does not want to lose. I am probably going to be decimated in this fight. I picked the worst guy stat for stat in the division. Declan. That's the name of like a 13-year-old kid. He's got white parents. For sure. And you know he's got his summer home. Fucking Declan. Piece of shit. Oh. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, Declan. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. You know, this leg. What is DC made of? I just hit him with a hook and it did nothing. Oh. Oh! Oh! He got knocked out! Oh, he quit! Declan rage quit. He's like, Mom! Declan! Get back here! Okay, guys. And girls, if there's girls. Anyways, that was weird. Why did I say that? Anyways, those are my predictions. It was great doing. I forgot that you can't talk while that's going on. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I got a little bit more time until the next term starts, which is in a few weeks. I'll try and come up with something even to talk about in between. I know that I used to do like a lot of fight updates and like talks behind the scenes and even game talk, but I feel like I need to maybe just focus on doing this and pump out the videos when the big events are happening, and then we'll get a consistent flow going and hopefully more subscribers and all that stuff. I appreciate everybody who's watching this video. I hope you like my predictions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I can answer them, and I can even add them to another video if they're important enough. Not that they're not all important, but sometimes you get asked some pretty stupid questions. That's just life, though. Anyways, thank you for watching the Bruise News, and I appreciate you. Make sure you have a good one.